Here we are again. May 12th, 2022, 10 a.m. Mr. Brown at 333 Constitution Avenue in Washington, D.C. received in the mailroom the copies that I sent in request for investigation into police and politicians from the state of Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, straight down to Florida. And lo and behold, now I'm just finding out after they said they couldn't find the mail and there were no answers to anything. It's saying that the mail was returned with no forwarding address. Anytime that I have changed homes, residence, or whatever it may be, if I go away for a little bit of time, I put in a change of address or hold my mail card. So, therefore, somebody is in trouble. Christopher Ray, tell everybody what happened to my mail in October 4th, 2023. I told you about it, as well as I filed with the Inspector General, Department of Justice, Washington, D.C., the criminal investigations for each Attorney General's office, Patrick Gagnon, the detective for Attorney General Aaron Frey, and now there's going to be a civil rights unit in the state of Maine, as well as the ACLU is going to hear this conversation that I'm about to share with you, and they're going to pick up on it as well. I'm pretty sure of it. I've already contacted them. I've contacted many others as well, the ones that are running. I don't know why anybody's going to even be in the voting lines. I don't think many are. Black people, no offense, I love everybody's race. I don't care who you are, but I'm just saying they're not going to vote, and they're very intelligent people, just like my family and myself, coming from England. So, yeah, we're all migrants. Come on, everybody. Whoever's out here and you need a place to stay, you're welcome to come and stay with me at 400 Oliver Hill Road, Garland, Maine. You can go to town if you want to pay me rent, and I'll rent you space. All you gotta do is go to town. They'll pay you general assistance. It's out of the rural development. With that being said, I'm going to share with you now. I filed for protection from abuse, harassment, terrorizing, and stalking, and the swatting continued. Isn't that right, Derek? Derek Thomas, do you have my dog, or does Gene Hebert have it at Mickey's old residence? Poor Mickey, he should be resting in peace, but he knows I'm speaking for him too, because Gene told me about the burning of the buildings. They thought Cheryl still had up on the insurance, and he feels real bad about it and even told me that he apologized to her. So what happened to all that? And then my dog disappeared after it was found out that he signed the FBI as a witness. The FBI statement that got notarized and sent in August 9th by hand to Christopher Ray, the top agent for the FBI. He was in Augusta, Maine. He got it hand delivered to him. Didn't you, Chris? So tell your wife how you know me. Hi, Helen. Hold on. Now you're going to hear from the clerk at 333 Constitution Ave. You're going to hear what she has to say about they did get sent back. Oh, no. Now we got a request that they be reopened. And all those copies will be sent to me because I'm the victim. Do you understand where I'm going with this? It's time y'all are exposed. It's called Justice and Overthrow of the Government. I'm not voting because I don't vote for crooks. When it's time to vote, I will be on that ballot. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Thank you. Hold up now, and you're a servant. You're on audio record, and I'm in Washington, D.C. Now, if you want to play like that, I'll share this again with Christopher Ray, our top agent. Do you understand me? I had a protection order, and I want the information on it. Okay, do you have a case number? I'll be more than happy to look. Well, you can look that up as well. How about that? You want to give me an attitude? I'll make you work for what I want. Is that fair? No, no. Let's start over here. Now, I'm calling, and I'm recording this call, and I'm sharing it with Washington, D.C. Department of Justice. I was sex trafficked, and I also have a protection order that was granted for 2 years at Levy County, Florida. Okay. I want the case number on that, and I want the information. And the defendant was Larry Joseph Johnson from Morrison, Florida. You said it was about 2 years ago? It was so be it. What's the case number? And remind you, you're on your audio record, ma'am, on audio record being shared with Department of Justice, Washington, D.C. Tomorrow, April 2nd, 2024. Ma'am. Go ahead. I don't know why you're being so rude to me. I don't know why you answered the phone so blunt and blatantly. How about that? I always answer the phone like that, ma'am. Well, then maybe you ought to tone it down. Maybe you ought to tone it down because I'm not one to play with, and I was just as nice as could be until you tipped me off of that attitude. Ma'am, I'm sorry. I answered the phone like I always answer. I answer at clerk of the court. I'll answer this is Deanna. Well, with the tone of voice that you used is no good to me. So again, what's that case number? The case number is 38 2017 DR. This is David Robert. 13. Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am, and you have a pleasant afternoon. Yes, good afternoon. I'm calling in regards to some paperwork that was sent in and received May 12th, 2022 at the mailroom at 10 a.m. by a Mr. Brown. And it just seems to be there may be some fraudulent activity and perhaps bad misconduct as well as what happened to all that paperwork. There was $94 worth of postage from UPS, overnight delivery. That went missing. Just poof right up in the air. What happened to it? So there you go. The first part of that, you heard the case number. Larry Joseph Johnson. He owned a flat store and he worked up and down the road. Lacey died before I got taken in there. Beat, raped, held for hostage. Animal tried to pull a gun and justifiably he wanted to shoot me while Levy County came up, just swarming up against the trailer. And apparently they thought they were going to shoot at me too because Animal had pulled a gun on me and said there was an intruder. You see, down at the park, we went to a bikers rally at Markham Park down by Fort Lauderdale. The flat store was up and running. It was Larry Johnson and his nephew raking in the dollars. I was just standing down there taking pictures and Larry went stupid on me. He hit me. He kept on hitting me. He wouldn't let it up. We got pulled over in Pompano Beach on our way up through on 95 North. He was pulled out of the car first, face down. They got blood on him, so they charged him with a felon assault on the officers. For some reason, he got out of that, as well as they had secondly pulled out his nephew from the front seat, and they pulled me out and told me I had to walk backwards with my hands in the air to a gun being held to my head as I was a victim of abuse and sex trafficking. So that was Pompano Beach area. And Ferndale Park, Markham Park, whatever they call it. I'm going to tell you right now, that's all in that case number. And I'm coming for justice. You can look up the former ex-chief of police in Savannah, Georgia. He owned pretty much all of Tybee Island, and it was all about frivolous activity. He went to prison, and he still got 6 figures while he was in prison. You think I don't know who he is? Willie Lovett? Yeah, I do. Animal's the one that ratted on the guy that tried to kill me justifiably. And that was after I had been beaten and raped many times over by him and Larry Johnson. Do you know where I'm going with this? Right straight to Washington, D.C. That's what I'm calling about. What happened to the mail? Mr. Brown received it. That's confirmed. But I never got any kind of response from anybody. Of course I am, because I've got a listen, ma'am. Of course I have, and I've now got an FBI case through Christopher Ray, 9924889-BS. And my call's recorded, as I mentioned in the beginning, so please don't be rude. I filed, and I still have the postage, okay, receipt from United Postal Service, UPS, 2022. That's right. But however, of course I have. How do you think I got the name Mr. Mr. Brown received it at 10 a.m. in the mailroom. I'm sitting, listen, I'm waiting to get these answers because I'm filing something major tomorrow in Supreme Court, Washington, D.C., against all of thee. So I'm cordially reaching out to find out from this court what happened to all that postage, notarized statements. I still got copies of them too. We need to find that out. So that's a little tidbit of information. Find out from the mailroom what happened to that mail. Now I'm going to take this recording and share it with Christopher Ray. And then I'll share it with the Channel News as well as Fox 35, Laura Ingraham. This is my proof to the nation that mail has gone missing at the district court on 333 Constitution Avenue, and you gave me an attitude. Please. So that was the first clerk that was really snotty-nosed attitude toward me. And so I've requested, put her name in for reprimanding, okay? Because I'm a taxpayer. And anybody that's on disability, you're being used as a tax write-off. Diligently, which I have been since 2022, to find out where my filings ended up. Now, they were received in the mailroom May 12th of 2022 at 10 a.m. by a Mr. Brown. And I just called and received a very rude receptionist clerk or whoever she is at extension 9. She's on audio record being shared with the Department of Justice tomorrow in Washington, D.C. I've traveled all the way from Maine to find out where this paperwork is. And I've got all the copies. I've got the receipt from UPS. I've got the copies of the notarized statements. But I don't have any of the missing information as to what happened to the filing. So I never got any confirmation. I never got any response, and I never received anything. So I called Christopher Ray for 2 hours and 45 minutes, October 4th of 2023. And he gave me a case number of 99248-BS involving what I sent in, okay, which would happen to be the underground sex trafficking and sexual exploitation of myself by the carnival business called Dreamland Amusements, Rockwell Amusements, Fiesta Amusements, and many, many more. Traveling carnival shows. With that being said, I mentioned all kinds of police and politicians, and I want to know where that mail went, as well as the nation wants to know, because we're going to rally it. We're going to protest it throughout the states starting April 8th.
Get all this straight.
Mm-hmm.
So you're missing a filing. Do you know what filing specifically?
They were requests for investigations. They were copies of requests for protection from abuse and harassment, terrorizing, stalking, gang stalking, and targeting individual on behalf of myself, my daughter, my grandson, and my service dog. How coincidentally, a year later, my daughter gets sex trafficked a second time, goes missing, just got after he had just gotten off in his private jet. In regards to all this, so our top agent, Christopher Ray, is aware of all this, and he obviously is hiding the information because he hasn't contacted me back and he won't answer my calls. He was supposed to look into this.
All right. And where was your case specifically? I just want to try and make sure.
What it was, like I said, it was just fresh filings for request for the protection orders, and they were sent out from Aberdeen, Maryland on May 12th, 2022, received at 10 a.m. And it was an overnight, so it was sent out May 11th, received May 12th. And the person, the mail subject that told me, they looked it up in the system and found that Mr. Brown received that paperwork. So what happened to it? It was a medium-sized box from UPS. It cost me $94. So that tells you there was a lot of paperwork.
Yeah. And you sent it to Aberdeen, Maryland, or Kingston? from
No, it came from Aberdeen, Maryland to 333 Constitution Avenue, and I still have the receipt.
Okay.
As well as the picture of the box.
Can you tell me your first and last name, just because the case number for the case I'm unable to find in our system.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to try and look it up by your either first name or last name.
Absolutely. I also make mention to you, ma'am, that in 2021 as well as 2019, I filed in Burlington Federal Court, as well as I filed in 2022 right after filing in DC, what I just told you about. On my way home to Maine, I filed in Portland, Maine. And none of that mail came to me either, but my request and the docket numbers were sent out as being frivolously dismissed. However, I never received that information. It was sent out into the public, but not to me. I never received anything. So I filed against Jeffrey Eaton in Burlington Federal Court, the Department of Justice clerk for the court. And lo and behold, I still never heard anything, as well as I filed requests in that information that I'm asking you to look for. Tells all of that, and it tells about when I went to file 87 billion plus multi-million in Burlington Federal Court November 4th, 2019. They told me at the security downstairs that I had to leave my cell phone with the security, and when I got back downstairs, my phone wasn't there, and this is 2024. Still, nobody will tell me who stole my phone out of security in Burlington Federal Court. That's it. Yeah, Lisa Wright in Federal Court, Burlington, Vermont, is very well aware of that. And she said the same thing you said. She said, "Oh my gosh, Kim, I was so afraid that was happening." And I've got her as a witness for 38 minutes in the deposition.
Okay. So I found a couple of different cases under your name. They all say that because mail would be returned undeliverable.
Okay, well, we need to figure that out because my mail shouldn't have been returned. And where I live, I own my property as of when I'm telling you on this date of April 1st, 2024. I'm still not receiving mail. I don't receive mail from anybody of importance. I only receive mail belonging to previous owners of my property, and that's been a request for investigation that was sent in back with all that paperwork. This is all, and they swatted me twice, burnt me out of the mansion, and then burnt me out of my secondary home while my daughter had been sex trafficked. And again, we have a sex trafficking case pertaining to all of that paperwork that went missing and dismissed. So do your best to get somebody's attention on that, ma'am, because I came all the way here to Washington, D.C. to get the attention of the nation about this. I just got here today, and I'm going to stand outside in the park and let everybody know what's been happening. I want to file, and I need some information as to, do you have any formal, any kind of forms at the courthouse that I can file high-risk protection order against these sheriffs?
Yeah, if you come into the courthouse and come into our agency desk, they'll give you all of the forms right there. You're already here. That's what I recommend.
Yeah, I want to file in DC because this is against the sheriffs, and I've already made the sheriff of the National Association aware that I'm filing against every single one of them that involved in sex trafficking me and my family.
Yeah, they'll give you a form at intake.
Okay, all right. I greatly appreciate you.
Yeah, just ask to go to the intake desk.
Okay, thank you so much. And what's the latest that can happen?
Our intake desk is open till 4 p.m.
Perfect. Yeah, it's going to be tomorrow because I'm really tired. I've been driving and driving, and I'm still looking for my missing daughter, and this is all part of it. When I was at the courthouse October 4th in the morning, I was at the courthouse in my state to file against the sheriff and on behalf of my missing daughter and my dog, my service dog. And when I got home, my dog had been stolen out of my home. I filed with my sheriff's department, and then I called Christopher Ray. He answered the phone, and he told me he had just gotten off from his plane and that he had planned on being home by 3 o'clock, but he was still on the phone with me, and that was at 5:30 in the evening. And I insisted he give me a case number for sexual exploitation after 2 hours and 45 minutes of talking to him. And now every time I call the FBI to get a status check on it, they hang up on me. I'm not feeling very well protected in my own country, and all of my family is Congress. My grandfather was the granted land finder and founder of Barnstable County, Cape Cod, Massachusetts. So I've got prominent family up here, and this is crazy what they're doing to all of us.
Well,
So how do you feel about that,
I
Janet Mills?
think they will get you sorted.
I thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a blessed day. Thank you. Bye-bye. And to all you haters out here that have been running your mouths, that were involved in my daughter's disappearances and the abuse of myself and my family, leading to back to 2007 when my home had been swatted, and y'all said there in Island Pond, Northeast Kingdom, in order to get my daughters taken from me and put them with law enforcement and Border Patrol agents, sex trafficking my children, sexually exploiting my children. Are you kidding me? It's no joke. That's what happened, isn't it? So, with all that being said, they were all listed in that $94 worth of postage that was sent to Washington, D.C. And do you know where I went with that? I requested reconsideration, reopen the case, and investigate into as to why didn't I receive my mail and why is it that the cases were dismissed.